Bucky's Basement.
I mean, that makes sense.
Bucky's Basement.
Welcome to an all-new limited series on Bucky's Basement. I'm Bucky, and as always in the basement with me today, I have Old Boy.
I like y'all shirts.
And Juicebox.
I'm a vampire?
And what I alluded to was we are doing something brand new on Bucky's Basement. We are here with a new series called Cage Fight.
It needs its own sound clip too. I feel like yeah.
We've been excited about this.
There you go.
We've been excited about this and excited to bring it to you for some time. This is a brainchild of all three of us. We love Nick Cage movies. We've been doing a series called Casting Cage for well over a year. Up to 28 different Cage movies we have reviewed and episodes we have put out.
It's impressive.
It is very impressive. We do the homework for you. We bring you nostalgia, things that you have seen in the past, things that you might not have seen, and now you want to see. And now it's time for us to take everything that we've done and put it in a deathmatch March Madness style tournament to see what Nick Cage character of these first 28 movies we've reviewed is the absolute god.
Yeah, who's going to come out of this pile of movies that we've watched and is the ultimate champion of the first 28 movies. And that person will go on to face whoever wins the next 28 movies.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. This is the original badass Nick Cage, like nostalgic, vintage, prior to 2001.
The character that could kill them all.
We do have two wild cards. We have two Nick Cages from movies that have been released in the last 2 years. We're going to throw in here because we actually did review those movies. Those are Long Legs and Dream Scenario.
Yeah,
but we are going to take
not really the badass Nick Cage.
No, but we'll see. No. Maybe you have
right.
no idea what's going to happen in this tournament because we're going to go all the way back to 1984. We're going to go from 1984 to 2001. These Nick Cage characters are some of the greatest actors and characters you've ever known,
right?
Including Cameron Poe from Con Air. Yeah. You got Castor Troy from Face Off.
Now we're talking.
You've got Hal McDonough from Raising Arizona.
Got dumb luck on this side.
No, Tom Wells, 8mm.
Dude, I got some money on Tom Wells.
You got some money on Tom Wells. You know, I've got some money on some Nick Cages, but especially the one that I have drawn today, because but before we get into it, we want to kick it over to Juicebox. He's going to break down the rules of what we're going to do here on Cage Fight, because this is going to be basically a 4 to 5 week tournament. And we are going to put a bunch of Nick Cages against each other, characters, and we're going to see who makes it all the way to the final of this tournament, the final four, the final game, and who is ultimately the champion at the end.
The Nick Cage Highlander.
But in order to do this, we have to be fair with each other, and there are definitely rules.
Okay.
There are. So in Highlander, there was multiple Highlanders, but then there can only be one Highlander. So how is there ever more than one?
I think there's only one Highlander, but there was multiple Immortals.
Well, we can talk about this off mic.
Yeah.
Please do. It has nothing to do with Nick Cage.
It's the same thing.
Okay, so we're going to treat this kind of almost like a courtroom drama, if you will, minus the musical aspect of it, old boy.
Wow.
So what we're going to do is we're going to have each person go for 3 minutes. You get up to 3 minutes to give us your argument of why your character would defeat the other person's character in a death match, you know. I mean, and what we're saying here, like, this is not like, doesn't necessarily have to be like punching and kicking. It can be like, you know, they could
stealth
or sneak attacks or whatever.
Like, some of them have been Secret Service, some of them, you know, have been bakers. They know their way around a knife. You know, we have a lot of I think successful attributes between a bunch of these characters.
Yeah,
and we're excited to put them against each other and see who can outmaneuver the other.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So we'll let each person go for up to 3 minutes. You know, that's their choice, depending on how much stuff they have. Then, much like a political debate, we'll have a rebuttal of, about a minute to two each.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're going to do it like this so we keep it civilized and we're not talking over each other and getting in arguments because that's what this will devolve into.
Sounds like
We'll be talking at Red Door for 3 more years.
Every Friday night.
Shouting over like whatever Journey's playing or something. Okay, and then whoever's the judge, which this week I get to be the judge, we'll get to ask questions of the two people, any questions that came up for them during the explanation, and then they're going to make their final decision. So it basically
you're going to make our final decision this week between Old Boy and I, and what Nick Cage characters we drew.
So I mean, that's what it comes down to. It's like you got to make the argument for the person that's the judge.
Fair enough.
You got to think about that in addition to defending or selling your character or shitting on the other character or whatever your tactic is that week.
Yep.
And if you're listening to us this week on your favorite podcast network, you can watch us on YouTube or go to social media at Bucky's Basement, and you can find this entire tournament bracket. You can print these brackets out. You can give them to your friends, and you can play a game with us for the next 5 weeks where you guys bet on who you think is going to advance each week in this tournament-style bracket. And then you can make a lot of money, and you can spread the word of Bucky's Basement and Cage Fight.
We just start our own gambling website.
Yeah, but let's be real honest. I want to ask you guys a very serious question. How much money is it going to take for you guys to go crooked on this thing?
There's no.
How much money is it going to take for you to throw a fight?
There's no $100 handshakes in Bucky's Basement. I am going to argue legally.
$200 handshakes?
Maybe $200 handshakes. I throw a fight, but I swear, if Castor Troy doesn't make it past the first couple of rounds, I know something's rigged here.
Yeah, I mean, he is definitely one of the favorites, we'll say.
Or the other person is a very good debater. I don't think that's what they call it.
Yeah, it just brings a strong argument.
It brings a strong argument, and the judge finally decides again. Now, we all have to agree before we get into this entire experiment and this entire tournament bracket that I want both of you to look me in the eye and tell me that you're going to be fair, and this has no animosity hanging over it. There is no...
You think
we're
I'm
not
that
siding
petty?
with people just because
you think I'm that petty?
Because we're petty.
No, no.
Yeah,
okay, I want fair
brother.
arguments. I want a fair decision.
It's you I don't trust.
I
this
don't
is
want,
projection, motherfucker.
I don't want anybody
right.
to rig this tournament because we are going to find out of the first 28 who is the best Nick Cage character.
Mm-hmm.
I have some in my head that I'm thinking they're probably going to make it pretty far, and I think I've got a definitive winner. If I was on FanDuel right now, I'd probably place some bets on some underdogs here.
Okay.
Because it is all about the debater, and we're going to find out. So, as Juicebox said, this is the first round of Cage Fight.
Yeah, debut.
We have exactly 12 fights in the first round. So we've got 4 buys. We want to let you guys know about that. The buys, we decided this on our own because we've seen these movies. We've researched this stuff. We have decided that the 4 buys in this 28-team tournament are Castor Troy from Face Off.
Of course.
Cameron Poe from Con Air.
I guess.
Sailor from Wild at Heart.
Deservedly.
I think Sailor's going to go far. And Little Junior Brown from Kiss of Death.
Yeah, who beat to death at least one person.
At least one, yeah, maybe a couple.
So he's got that for him.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
But he hates metal in his mouth.
Okay.
There is a
whoever's
kryptonite.
going up against him.
Yep.
Yeah, he's got kryptonite.
So you've got to find the faults in the other character as well as bring the strengths from your character in order to make it past the judge of the week. This week's judge is Juicebox. We're going to go ahead and give you guys an example or a taste of what you can be in for this limited series. This week, I have drawn 1989's Time to Kill Enrico Sylvestery.
Boo! Is that the sound clip you wanted?
Are you trying to get intimidating now?
Oh, yeah. All right. And I got Frank Pierce from 1999's Bringing Out the Dead.
We are talking about 10 years difference of Nick Cage acting here, and
leaps and bounds,
and characters. But it's not necessarily about the acting. It's not how you were cast. It's not the movie or the budget.
It is. It's kind of about the movie, though.
This is
Juicebox
about.
had a good point.
I mean, the movie establishes the character. You can't say it's not about the movie,
right?
Like,
okay, but we're going character versus character. If there was a fight to the death,
who's winning?
Who wins this battle? All right, we've decided the way. Actually, Juicebox is going to tell you how we are going to decide who goes first in cage fight.
Good old fashioned paper, rock, scissors. One round, winner takes all.
So,
this is where, if you're listening on your favorite podcast network, you should switch over to our YouTube platform because you can actually see this live. We are not joking with you. We are throwing up fists, and we are going to go 1, 2, 3, shoot. To see who is the first debate, who gives the opening arguments for their character on this week's cage fight.
Ready?
1, 2, 3.
All right. So let's.
Old boy threw scissors. I threw paper. And
go ahead.
Wait. I thought you won, so you get to go first.
Winner goes first.
I think winner gets to pick. If they go first
winner
or
goes.
second.
I'm going second, my man. Go ahead. Lay out that argument.
Fair enough. All right. This is the very first fight in the episode Cage Fight. We are in the first round. I have a 3 seed? 2? Yeah, if we're seeding these things, I'm a 3 seed versus a 6 seed currently.
Okay.
It's all right.
So I have a little bit of an advantage here.
Frank Pierce got a 6 seed.
He did get a 6 seed.
It's okay.
He's got a lot of issues, and we're about to find those out. But
that's
if
fine.
you don't mind, you go ahead and hit my time on this opening argument because I have 1989's Time to Kill Lieutenant Enrico Sylvestery. Enrico Sylvestery, if you didn't know, was the lieutenant of the Italian army set in 1936, meaning you have to be a badass because this is pretty much before running water, electricity, and cars, especially in Italy. Actually, no, you have cars, you have big military vehicles, but not necessarily doctors or modern medicine. Anyway, Enrico Sylvestery, again, lieutenant in the Italian army. To become a lieutenant in the army, you need to earn a commission as an officer by completing various programs, including an ROTC program, an OTC program, and you have to graduate from an academy equivalent to West Point, meaning you're a fucking badass. Military training, defense training, gun training are all come along with this modern-day Italian army. Lieutenant Enrico Sylvestery can survive in the jungle alone. This is something that can't be done, I don't think, in today's time. You can go out, you don't have a cell phone, you don't have anything to make a fire. He is a lieutenant in the army and goes out and survives on his own on this journey in the movie. He is not intimidated by the guy in the sweater who points him into the jungle. He straight up takes his advice, punks him out, and then walks his badass into the jungle. Lieutenant Enrico Sylvestery can hide bodies. He wanted to murder someone and hid their body not to be found. The only way he was found is he told the person that he killed that person and took them to where the body was. It would have never been found. Lieutenant Enrico Sylvestery steals from his friends. He does not give a shit. He will enjoy a couple of beers with you and then will double cross you in the middle of the street. Doesn't give a fuck. In closing, he is willing to double cross. You keep laughing. He is military trained. He knows how to use a gun. He tried to kill the doctor on the beach who told him that something that he didn't want to hear. He can survive on his own. He is a any day journeyman. That is my argument because I don't need any other argument.
Okay.
Going up against your guy, we're talking about a military trained dog here.
All right, hit it. All right, here's a fact. Frank Pierce has killed more people while we were listening to Bucky prat on just now about Enrico Sylvestery. It's true. Sylvestery's only killed time. It's there in the title. And a rape and a rape victim out of guilt and shame. I forgot about that. Frank Pierce can't even help killing all the people he's saving. He's been saving his victims from serious ambulance and medical bills. Call it bad luck or accidents on the job or whatever you want. Frank is good at offing the majority of folks he encounters. So when Enrico Sylvestery sees an ambulance pull up and an oddly familiar-looking EMT get out to treat his, what was it, toothache? Leprosy dick? It won't matter because it will soon be curtains for Sylvestery. Your boy is in an army of fascists that have taken over a country that's been occupied for centuries. Like what kind of training does he need? He's just another tool. Like don't give me that West Point bullshit. Like this guy probably threw on an outfit and got transported across the river or across the Mediterranean and just occupied some poor folks. Like he ain't shit. He killed somebody on accident. He killed somebody on accident. He was a bitch and was afraid and shot at a bush and accidentally killed his rapist or his rape victim wife. He's weak.
Is that the end of your argument?
That's it.
All right.
That's it.
Okay. Bucky, you have 1 minute rebuttal if you want it.
I'll take the rebuttal. First of all, he shot at a hyena because that thing was trying to protect him and his newfound girlfriend in a cave.
That's the story.
Accidentally kills the girlfriend. I understand that you're looking at me right now.
Yeah.
Army of fascists, he was in an army. Frank Pierce is a paramedic who suffers from depression, insomnia, and occupational burnout, having not saved any patients for months after botching a resuscitation of Rose, a homeless teen. So you said at the beginning of your argument, Frank Pierce killed more people while Bucky was talking. You know what? The only thing Frank Pierce ever killed was a guy who was already in a coma. I can argue this for days. He's an addict. The Oasis scene, are you kidding me? He went in and just took a pill not knowing what it was in some random person's apartment. He's an alcoholic. We saw that in multiple scenes in Bringing Out the Dead. He has weak bones due to health. He's the only
Time's up.
Weak bones due to health.
He played second fiddle to all three drivers he was
I think your
with.
time's up.
Can't even quit his job.
He doesn't want to, man. He's too busy killing people.
Do you want a 1 minute rebuttal or
I think he's too busy killing people, man. I think he's just really good at it. He's the angel of death. He ferries motherfuckers to beyond the dead. That's
he didn't kill anyone.
He killed them all.
He killed
He
one
could
guy
have
who was
saved
in a
them. He
coma.
killed them all. I mean, literally, he's seeing ghosts because that's what he does. He'd have killed this motherfucker too. Your dude's waiting to be dead.
All right. So I don't really have many questions because I feel like you guys did a pretty good job laying it out for the most part.
Yeah.
Although I feel like I feel like you were comparing Sylvestery to like somebody that was in the American military when you said West Point, but as Old Boy said, he was in the fascist like Italian army. Like,
I said equivalent to West Point.
but
That's what you said.
But I mean, what's your basis on that?
The basis is the only way to become a lieutenant in an army is to take these steps to become a lieutenant.
You know that for a fact, and like a foreign army is the same thing.
It's
not
looked it up
crooked in
on
any
Google.
way, shape, or form. Okay. All right.
I mean, but like he clearly had superiors. I mean, I guess even a lieutenant. What's under a lieutenant?
Second lieutenant.
All right.
All right. Touche.
I can't remember. Did Frank Pierce have any military experience? I felt like he had some kind of military experience, and then he went to paramedics. Or am I confusing him with something else?
I don't know. I mean, I could see it, but I couldn't prove it.
Okay.
What is
I
this?
can't-
Did you pay him off for these questions?
Yeah.
This is garbage right now.
I think I'm ready to render my verdict.
Hold on. What, are you?
Yeah, I don't have any
This
more
soon?
questions.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I just had a couple questions. You guys made your argument. I was kind of already had an idea of which direction I was leaning.
So after hearing it, I don't get a We don't get a closing argument. You've heard
We've-
enough.
Dude, we have
a closing.
argued it
Yeah,
enough.
you've argued it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. There's
Yeah,
more
your
to
closing
say.
argument was your rebuttal. You don't need
Yeah.
any more arguments.
Go ahead and tell me that Enrico is making it to the next round.
I will tell you that Enrico is making it to the next round,
Yes.
and I will tell you why. Damn. For the reason that several reasons that you described. He is a cold-blooded killer. He tried to shoot the doctor on the beach. He did not give a shit. Like, he has tried to kill several people. He killed a defenseless woman. He raped, whatever.
Yes.
He is a shitty person. I could see Frank Pierce in his, his coat or whatever, stopping to, help somebody that was, injured or something, and Sylvestery just fucking capping him from behind.
Mm-hmm.
It's fair.
I also wrote Sylvestery can hide bodies. Did I say that?
Yes, you did.
Kinda.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it comes down to an issue of character, and Sylvestery has a worse character. Like he does not his character is worse.
He's
His
just
moral
more of a
his moral character is
capable of
worse.
murder.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree. Frank Pierce has sympathy or empathy or whatever towards the Noel character the entire movie.
Yeah.
He's weak. He's a weakling, and a lot of drunks are weaklings. We're gonna find that out when somebody goes up against leaving Las Vegas.
My guy's not.
I don't think saying somebody has empathy is weak.
Yeah,
if you think having empathy is weak, man, you need to get yourself.
Sorry,
checked.
I'm
It
not
was
trying
a
to
hard-
sway this decision.
It was a hard argument because.
No,
my
I'm talking
guy-
about in real life. I'm not
Okay.
talking. I'm talking about Nick Cage.
I'm
anymore.
still defending my guy. I just want to make sure that we close this episode with a solid Bucky win in the first round.
My guy's nonviolent. It's hard to argue.
Yeah,
that.
I mean that's exactly it.
I mean,
he
but-
is. Yeah.
Yeah, so I had to take it.
Even when he went into the alley at the end of the movie to beat somebody up, he ended up saving somebody.
Exactly.
See, if I were you, I would argue the side of the dude takes enough vitamin B and adrenaline shots in the back of a ambulance
I
that
almost
he
went
could
that.
go,
I
he could go
almost went that
crazy.
way. Yeah, but I mean,
Sure.
the fact is he's trying to legitimately save people's lives. on
Yeah.
a
The fact is, he's
daily
not
basis.
a cold-blooded killer.
Yep, that's it.
Cold-blooded
End of the day.
killers are going to win this tournament, and that tells me that
Or crafty people. People
Yeah.
that are crafty.
And it's exciting for you guys out there because Enrico Sylvestery just advanced to the next round, which he came in the perfect seeding where he goes against our very first bye, Castor Troy, in the next round. So we have Enrico Sylvestery versus Castor Troy in the first episode of round 2 of Cage Fight, and I'm excited about this one. The thing about Cage Fight is you have to draw different people every time, so I might not be arguing for Enrico Sylvestery in the next round. I might be Castor Troy, or I might be the judge. This is what the fun part about this tournament is going to be, is everybody has to argue a different character in every round. We're excited to bring this to you each week up until actually the national championship day of the NCAA tournament, and you're going to be listening to us during the day and watching the national championship game at night,
Yeah.
and we're so excited about that.
Or maybe we'll just release it simultaneous with the national championship game, so
There
you
you
can just
go.
watch that and listen to our podcast.
Yeah, if you have a bunch of nerds in your house during the national championship game, because it's like inviting people over for the Super Bowl, just put it on the kitchen and let the wives listen. You tell them to go watch basketball. We will be in somebody's ears that week because we're going to bring this to you each and every week from here on out. Limited series Cage Fight. We're excited about this. Debates are going to get more intense. We're going to defend our characters, with more valor, and we're going to fucking get in fights at the Red Door on Friday night based on what we think that this Tuesday episode is going to bring to you guys. So thanks so much for listening this week. We will be back, and we are excited, again, as always, to bring this to you at your favorite podcast network, YouTube, buckysbasement.com. Follow us, like, rate, subscribe, and if all else fails,
Tell your mom and them.
Cage fight.